If you've ever felt like the third wheel, this podcast is for you.
If you love Wheel of Time, this podcast is for you.
If you're bored and have nothing better to do, this podcast is for you.
Join Rob,
Megan,
And Jen,
in celebrating the Wheel of Time
and its statistically best fandom,
and ridiculous gaming skills,
and probably a few cocktails.
and find out which one of them will be the third wheel this time.
This is
three-wheeling.
Yay!
Yay!
Hello.
We're all
How's-
here.
Hello.
22
all
minutes
here.
late.
22. We are redefining Dusty time, okay? That's
We are
what
just-
we're doing.
this is Gen time, is what it is. So I was like, I set my alarm because it's early, and I did it. I got up. Well, I didn't hear it, and then David got me up. Okay, so full disclosure, I fucked up from the very beginning, and then, okay. So last night was the first time I've been able to take a night off in a really long time. So I took a bath to watch my 2 episodes for prep for today,
Aw.
and I watched my episodes in the bath. Which,
And then she accidentally called me while she was in the bath.
yeah, and then I accidentally called Megan apparently somehow. And to be fair, I ordered pizza, and my boys brought me pizza in the bath.
In the bath.
It was a great night.
Sounds
But
wonderful.
all of that meant that I blew it, and I completely forgot my responsibility to my sweet little cat who had dental surgery this week, and I forgot to give her antibiotic last night. And so this
Oh,
morning, right before we were supposed to get on, I went, and she gets it twice a day. So, but I wouldn't normally do it for another hour, but I decided I better give her
Yeah.
give it to
her
her right away.
dose. Oh, bless her.
Yeah. I take all the responsibility. I'm the jerk.
But accidents happen. You're looking after yourself. O'Neill, I think I'm gonna have to take him to the vets on Monday. He is.
Why?
I feel like he's got some, I don't know, like a UTI or something of that nature on the go.
Yeah.
I was off to work yesterday morning, and I was like, putting on my boots and getting my stuff together, and he was sitting in the litter tray, peeing, as far as I could tell. And I went upstairs. I got my headphones because I left them up here. I was doing a couple of other things. Like 2 or 3 minutes gone by. I'm back downstairs. I walk in to the living room, and he's still there.
Oh.
And I was like, "Why are you? This is good. Like, are you okay?" And he's not like, there's no discomfort. He's not like shaking, quivering, nothing. He's just sat there as if he's perched.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "But you don't perch in the litter tray." So I was like, I'm going to sit down and wait and see what's going on. And I'm like, you okay? And I'm like, lift his tail. And he's not bothered by anything I'm doing. I'm like petting him. I was like, dude, and he's just like, I'm just here. Like, it was like a statue. It was very bizarre. And he was easily sat there for another 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh,
And,
dear.
but he has peed since.
Hmm.
Like, there was
Mhm.
like virtually no pee on that occasion, but he has peed on a couple of times since. So I'm
Okay.
like, there's like a UTI, crystals, kidney stones, who knows what it could be. There's something going on. So I'm like, I need to take the guy to the vet, bless him.
Yeah.
So, Meg, how are your pets?
Lazy and fat. So
So, Meg's the third wheel this week because her pets are healthy.
Are healthy.
How is everybody doing? It's good to see your faces.
It's good
It
to see.
is. I'm good.
You're good.
Sounds like
It's the
you're
first
trying
week
to
that the
convince
house isn't on
yourself.
fire or leaking or something, or blowing
Yeah.
open and blowing over, and let plenty of other things on fire. So that's not good. But but the fires are officially out yesterday, and I'm pretty sure that Trump's taking credit for it. Just putting that out there.
You turned
Wait.
the water on, right?
Turn the water on.
Oh, right. Oh, I mean, of course, because, he's the only one who knows what the fucking switch is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh.
and the water that will never get here because it's
Yeah.
not. Anyway, it's a thing. But the fires as of last night were officially out.
All the fires are officially out. That's amazing.
Yeah. I think there's
That's
still
so
one in
good.
Arizona. But the ones that started on the 7th and everything and around that time are gone. That's good.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
That's mad. On the 7th, it took 3 weeks to fully extinguish all the fires.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. It's been nuts. Anyway, hi.
Hi. Hello to everyone who's watching us in live chat. I finally figured out how to get this onto YouTube in a live stream that's exclusive for the patrons. So Spud Monkeys is in. Hello, Spud Monkeys is on YouTube. And apparently there's 2 people watching us on Riverside. But they haven't responded to my messages saying hello. So go over to the chat feature and say hello, folks.
Just to do this right now, this is the Flame of Tar Valon.
Oh, wow.
She comes. She comes.
And I made it in a cocktail and a shot. So here's the cocktail.
Okay. Clearly,
Nice.
we were chatting too long there, Jen, because
I'm very thirsty.
yeah, Meg's like, just ask me what I'm bloody drinking. All right,
Well,
before we
Meg
get going,
drinking.
what's Meg drinking?
So this is the Flame of Tar Valon. So originally the recipe was just a cocktail, but I'm like, I need this to light on fire if it's called the Flame of Tar Valon. So
Fair.
I tried like pouring the 151 on top of the cocktail, but it's just like it's too wide of a surface area, so it wouldn't light. So then I was like, okay. So then last night, and then I didn't like the original recipe, so then I ended up tweaking it a little bit. And then I had to figure out the ratios to fit in a shot glass, so I had like 4 of these last night.
Are they good?
Yeah. But so anyway, so the inspiration is, so the white color of the cocktail represents the white flame of Tar Valon on the ancient symbol of the Aes Sedai. So there are crystals on the rim to represent,
Wait,
those
spoilers?
generated. Well, I'll just say generated by the weave. We'll just say that.
Okay.
Okay. By the weave, the flame of Tar Valon. And then again, I also wanted to do an actual flame, so then that's why I created it in the shot as well. So both recipes are below. So I'll just read the cocktail recipe, and then I'll make sure I include the ratios and whatever on the Instagram post and stuff for the shot. So anyway, so for the cocktail, you want to prep the old-fashioned glass with simple syrup on the rim. So you like swirl it in the simple syrup, and then I put the like sugar crystals, and it's got to be like the sugar crystals because it should look like crystals. Anyway, and then you swirl that around, and then in a shaker with ice, pour 1.5 ounces of vodka, 1.5 ounces of white chocolate liqueur, 3/4 of an ounce of cream, half an ounce of vanilla syrup, and then I also did edible sparkles so that it's sparkly inside the cocktail, although you can't see it as much, I think, because it's so creamy. And then I didn't strain it in the cocktail glass because I wanted like the ice to be in there to look like the crystals. And I didn't want fresh ice because I want it to look more like crystals, so it's like melted and whatever. And then the shot, I did strain it. So, cheers!
I'm getting on a plane right now. I want it in me. It's so good. That was amazing.
It does
Congrats,
look pretty
Meg.
good. I'm
What
impressed.
a really beautiful, fun mixology game.
There's a lot of 151 in there. In the shot, there's a lot of 151.
Is that who is sponsoring the podcast this week? 151.
Well, they don't make Bacardi 151 anymore. But I found this Largo Bay 151. So.
Largo Bay, if you're listening.
They don't sponsor
Always
this
willing
podcast.
to take.
Yeah.
They do not sponsor this podcast.
I don't know. You're not inspiring me to want that cocktail with your like. Ugh.
No, the shot, it's because the shot has the 151. The cocktail doesn't have the 151 in it.
Okay.
Because you have to have the 151 to light it on fire. No, the
Right.
cocktail's good. The shot, it just didn't burn off enough, so there was a lot of 151 on top. And
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Got it.
Well, true to form, I do not have any cocktail to go for, but I now apparently can have Rocky Road stouts as my staffy at work now.
Nice. Nice.
Let me just give you the ASMR. There we go.
all right.
Sounds so good.
Let's talk, Miss Social Sleuth.
Yes.
What's been going on? Has there been any news?
So the only thing socially that I noticed, and I don't know if anybody else noticed, so Raga posted a picture, and it looks like she's in Monica and Rachel's apartment.
Oh, you're asking me if I noticed a post by Raga.
Oh, of course, that's stupid of me to say. But
Yes.
so is she in LA at
Is
Warner
she
Brothers?
Yeah, but they don't have it anymore. I mean, they've got Central Park, but they don't have they don't
Monica
have
and
their
Rachel's apartment?
No, I mean they don't like it's not on the set tour anymore, of course. And then in the museum,
I mean, it's
haven't been in-
clearly Monica and Rachel's apartment.
I haven't been here. I'm gonna look it up. I
And
haven't
then
seen
she also like wrote on it, if you know, you know. So I don't know what that meant. Because I was like, ooh, is she in LA for like press or something? You know,
it. Right? Was this a story that I missed?
Instagram.
Or
No, I think it was just a post, not an Instagram. I have it here. I can put it in our Discord.
So, I mean, I don't think she was anywhere particular. I mean, my local Primark rebuilt not rebuilt, but like turn their cafe like every 2 months. They turn it into a different set. I think currently it's a Simpsons set. It was a Hello Kitty one a while ago. When they first built it, it was the Friends Cafe. So I would say she's just, at a recreation of a Friends Cafe.
But it's not Central Perk. It's Monica and Chandler's apartment. I mean, Monica, well, I guess Monica and Chandler.
Yeah, Monica and Chandler, yeah.
There's a new museum at Warner Brothers. And I've been in it. I've toured the new space. I missed the old one, but the old one was like in an old soundstage that turned into a museum, and now they built a building that's the actual like tour museum. Mm-hmm. But they do have Central Park there, but I don't think they have. I don't know. I didn't think that they had that.
I think she was just on a trip.
Else. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's been doing a lot of jet
That's
setting.
really it for social media. There wasn't a ton of other things for social media other than all the news we were getting. But
yeah. What do we think
that's
of all
in the news section?
Well, we'll segue into the news. What do we think so far of the first look photos and tension?
Oh my god, I just lost my mind with the Wonder Girls photo. I did. I literally died. This is my ghost.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
it's so good. And as much as like I love Egwene, obviously, I really love Elaine's outfit.
Elaine's costume is amazing. It's just beyond.
I mean, they're all great, but like
they're all great. They're all great.
Elaine's
but Elaine's is
really
particularly.
spoke to me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. I agree too. Loved seeing them in their rings. Loved all the spoiler forward. If anybody's listening who doesn't need a spoiler, I don't think David's listening, but I'm just putting that out there. I mean, we know it's from the test. He's already read the test. Like,
right.
We know it's Egwene's test. I mean, we're pretty sure it's Egwene's test. And he knows that she's Amerlin in Egwene's test. But I love seeing Nynaeve and Elaine with her. I also really liked, if we're going to talk about that for a second, I just liked that. I liked the idea that the test will actually have characters we care about in it, not randos that we'd never, ever see in the series.
Yeah.
Well, we had Tam and Natty in Nynaeve's test.
No, I'm not talking about the show. I'm talking about the book.
The book. Gotcha.
Yeah. Beldine, her keeper, or whoever she is, not Beldine.
Oh yeah, I forgot her random keeper was there.
Her random keeper was a random keeper who we never saw again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to say the first look photos I thought were really cool. The Tanchico photos, I don't know whether it was because I was in the middle of a crazy work week and just couldn't give it the energy in a live stream, or I just found it less exciting. I'm not sure which it is, but I was like not as hyped for the Tanchico photos as I was for the first look photos.
I agree. I was too. The only thing that was kind of interesting in the Tanchico photos was, and I watched Dusty Wheel and them talk about it, and they like brightened up the photos. So the statue looks like it has an Adam on it.
Yeah, I did see that.
And it's a male. So this leads me to believe that we are definitely getting the sad bracelets, and there's some sort of legend or whatever that, like, they are in the Panarch's palace, the sad bracelet. Which again leads me to believe in that first look photo that bracer maybe is the bracer for the sad bracelets that
the guy's
Julian
handing
Sandar is holding.
Oh, the guy's handing that. Yeah, or handing them. Yes.
I
mean, yeah.
You mean Asmodean?
No, I mean Julian Sandar.
You mean Asmodean?
I mean Rando.
Are we on
Mando?
Are we on a three-way split here?
Three-way split. Yep.
Jen thinks he means nothing. Meg thinks he is Julian Sandar, and I'm like Asmodean.
I mean, I guess they could give Julian the hat that Matt's going to want later, because that's got to be the hat that Matt. I mean,
no,
in that
it
picture,
needs a bigger brim.
Needs a bigger brim.
Matt is eyeing that hat, and I'm
Hot.
like, that's our hat. That's our hat. But I don't know if it's Julian. I don't know if we're gonna get Julian, but I don't know. I don't think it's Asmodean either.
I think Julian has confiscated it from the Black Aja. Because he is like a thief taker, right? No, not the hat, the bracer.
Oh, right. I was stuck on the hat as well there for a second. I was like, what? I'm like, I will
take your hat.
Distribute justice by taking
this hat.
The
is so important that we have to steal it from the Black Aja.
Okay, Meg, that's actually fair. I like that. I like that. But we know that Min goes into the museum place because we've seen that shot.
Maybe to get the collar.
Maybe. I just have to say I also missed most of everybody's like live streams and stuff about the drop this week. I've been on deadlines, and so I came into the end of a couple, and so I have no idea what all the theories are and all the conversations have been, but I do and I thought that the costuming was fucking insane, pardon my French, but
God.
it is just insane, and I love it, and I cannot wait to hear the intricacies and the choices and the details. But I also just I was like,
At
cool.
WebCon.
I know.
From Sharon herself.
WebCon. And yes, yeah. So wait, is she coming to Mark Gary?
No, she's not. Not currently.
Okay.
I'm trying to secure some unexpected guests.
Excellent.
So,
God damn it.
yeah. Sorry, no teasers there. But talking about Sharon and stories, Rob Goodwin has stories as well. To share about certain pieces and such, because I mentioned
cool.
about a couple.
Yeah,
and I
And
was
he's the leather worker, right?
He's the level work. He made like
Okay.
Moraine's bolero and like Turak's piece.
Issues, and did he make Issues? Yeah, and Issues jacket.
Best thing.
Oh, actually, I'm not sure about Issues jacket. I know he made Turok.
Yeah, he did Turak's, and he's done a few bits and pieces like that. But yeah, there was one piece I was just like, I'm adamant this is yours. It was the piece Moraine is wearing, where she's doing like the I don't know what the Super Saiyan moment.
Oh,
with
the gold
gold
piece
thing
over.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I was
is
like, that has to be
incredible.
Rob's work.
Yes.
And then he
Yeah.
posted saying like, oh my God, can't wait to talk about these things. And I was like,
Mm.
see, I knew that was your work. And he's like, when I can, I will tell you a story about this. So I was just
It
like,
is
oh,
gorgeous.
yes. Yeah.
I need all the outfits. I need all the outfits.
Get out your cosplay game, girl.
I'm
Yeah.
curious if I could pull off Matt's outfit, like the pink frills and
With
that,
the veil and then the
with the-
veil too.
and the veil as well. I mean, you know how
Mhm.
you've got the
Yes.
headpieces. So, you know,
I think you need to do it. You
Maybe.
I
can pull
feel
it
like
off.
they.
Totally.
I feel like they haven't. I have to say, I feel like we all know Matt's going to go down the embroidery lane and like his fancy, but I also feel like their answer to he's in a bathrobe for an entire other season was just wait. Like they were like, you want some pink frills? We got you covered.
yeah.
And some
it's-
super intricate veils
Yeah.
with jewels
Yeah.
all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost like he's in mourning for something. It's like a doom shroud or something. It's mad, but it looks great on him. So
Yeah.
I'm
I love
very
it.
excited. I'm very excited about those. There is a big change with Matt going to Tanjiko
Tanjiko.
instead of going to the Waste. Yeah,
Derividian.
Uh, the Threefold Land.
You know, it's interesting though because as David right now, so David's reading Shadow Rising right now, and we both just read this section where Matt like Rand shows up and he does the like old form and he's like, I'd like to go to Ruidian, you know, like a clan chief, and everybody's like, you can. And everybody's like, yep, you can. You said it right, whatever. And then Matt's like, huh, me too. And it's so, I mean, that's what it's like. And I was just like, why are you guys letting Matt go? I'd cut his head off. I'd be like, no, asshole, you don't get to ask for it. Just for asking, you die. Like, it's so stupid.
It's for
And
asking you die.
seriously, I mean, I feel like that's what I expected at the time. I mean, it's so dumb. And so it's not dumb. I mean, I'm not like saying it's Robert Jordan dumb, but it's like, it does feel, it's such an afterthought. And in some ways it diminishes Rand asking and them allowing a wetlander, even though he's not, but like allowing a wetlander to go. And so it just like, and then they're like, yeah, anybody can go. And then Moraine's like, me too, you know, and then Egwene's like, should I go too? You know, it's just like,
Can you not say that with that tone? I don't appreciate it.
that was a moment when I was like, sit your butt down, Egwene, you're not going.
Is it? It's like an Oprah Winfrey moment. It's like you get to go and you get to go and you get to go.
Exactly
Except,
that.
let's say, out of all of the Wetlanders, at the end of all of this, she is the one that is most.
Oh, she's the most ideal. No,
Yeah.
hands down, no question. And she asks. She's not like, I guess she's like, am I supposed to? I mean, no, it's fine. It's just cute. But it's almost a comical scene. It's not, I don't think it's meant to be, but it's almost like Gandalf bringing in all the dwarves, like another. And so
Which is when I stopped reading The Hobbit, by the way.
There you go.
I was like, oh my God, I cannot hear one more blah, 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 son of, blah, 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 blah. Like, I was like, nope, we're done.
Well,
The Hobbit is such a good book.
It's
though.
so good.
I
And
never
now,
finished it.
Just
And
skip,
now
skip
it's
the
so good.
introduction
Skip
of the
it.
dwarfs then. Yeah.
Yeah. And then or just like just have Misty Mountain playing in the background while you read that part and just like listen to the insane throat singing that's going on and then
Yeah.
you'll be fine. I don't think it's actually throat singing. It's just like lots of baritones. But in any case, I think I don't mind. I don't mind Matt not being in Ruidian.
Me too.
Whatever I know everybody's freaking out about Finland. And
I think we're still gonna get it. Maybe not this season.
I think so too.
Can you
But I'm
stop
also-
being a downer? You don't want
I'm
a
not being-
Ludrin.
I'm not-
Ludra. Oh my god. I
It's
even
not-
just
Wow!
Wait.
Whoa, whoa,
You don't want a
whoa, whoa,
Ludra.
whoa!
You don't want Gaul. You're pissing on the
Stop,
snakes
stop.
and foxes.
I
Stop this
need to
nonsense.
make it is not that I don't want Gaul or I don't want Aludra. I love Aludra. I think her character is really fun. I love Gaul. It is not that I don't want them. It is that I think for economy of storytelling, we will not see them. And I think that I think Rafe is like, look, I can't put 2,000 plus named characters in an 8-season show. And he's also like, I know Gaul is beloved. I know Aludra's beloved. So here are my hat tips to them. Here are just my nods to them. I'm going to name a character Aludra and I'm going to like a new character. I know, sorry everybody, I put a new character in, but Aludrin in the story of Leandrin is great.
The face.
That's all.
The face for Meg.
We have to have snakes and foxes. We have to.
Do we?
Plus, what door is Moraine gonna go through? Are you saying she's just gonna die?
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a doorway. I don't know what it's necessarily going to be. And I don't think that it has to be a redstone doorway. I'm not saying it. I don't want it to be that. I love the snakes and foxes. I love the cultural. Yeah, I know. But I also love the cultural idea of there's this game that we've played for generations called Snakes and Foxes that actually has some reason. I actually explained the whole thing.
We saw snakes on that rug that Egwene and Rand are on.
Oh, I missed that.
Hmm?
What?
Yeah.
In the trailer.
I didn't.
Squeeze
I
me.
know what you're saying. I know what rug you're saying, but I didn't see snakes on it.
I'm aware of the existence of a rug.
Yeah, exactly. The
Okay.
dirty rug.
Look who's the astute one.
By the way, there is an
The
apartment you
astute
can
one.
rent in New York City. There's an apartment that you can rent in New York City that has
Has
is
that
the
rug?
Friends experience.
Oh
No,
right. Okay.
Wait, that is a what experience?
it's the Friends experience.
Oh.
Okay.
It's like an Airbnb thing.
So is she in
Friends
New York?
experience. I mean, maybe she's been around a lot. By the way, folks, we're back to the Raga right now.
Yes.
She's been traveling around. I just only realized how weird that sounded connecting to snakes and foxes. But yeah, she's been doing a lot of traveling recently, so it's very possible. I'm trying to find this. Where is this rug moment?
Oh, well, look at our first shot images, like the Google slides. It's on there.
Okay.
There's snakes on the rug.
There are snakes on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, those could just be whatever. What is it?
The
2
snakes
steps or
that they're giving
something?
us since they're not giving us snakes.
Stop it.
Oh yeah, those are cool snakes. I like those snakes. Those look like Ouroboros snakes to me.
I feel like this is like half a game to you now, where you just wind up Meg about all the things we're not going to get.
Maybe a little bit.
And just
Maybe a little
pissing
bit.
me off.
I don't think there's no redstone doorways. I just don't think and I think if they keep the redstone doorways, Matt has to go through them because he has to be the one to understand to go later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just all I'm saying, and I think it would be very easy to put the one from Tyr in Tanchico. So that's simple.
I don't think he needs to end up in the waste. Everyone's like, "Oh, what about Coolan and that?" Like, they could meet up another time. Coolan could stick around.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
the shit Coolan could cause if he stuck around, rather than
Well,
Matt
I
killing him
mean,
straight off.
and I don't think they're necessarily the Shido would be going to Kyrian this season. So that would be like
Yeah,
an
yeah.
excellent thing.
And Matt killing Couladin again, like these are the kinds of story points I don't mind messing with. Matt killing Couladin. The only thing that's important in Matt killing Couladin to me as a reader and as a studying these books for years is that Matt tries to run away from battle, can't do it, can read the battle, suddenly realizes he can read the battle, and gathers the Band of the Red Hand. And so that's the outcome I want from that. He literally kills Couladin as a like
Off screen.
are you important?
I mean,
don't
off
know.
page.
Just get out of my
Yeah.
way. It's off page, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's like I guess so, and it happens. If we set up this rivalry between Rand and Couladin, I just think like aren't the Aiel gonna be much more like, yes, you're the Kara Karn if he kills the fake Kara Karn. It should be Rand. It should have been Rand in the books.
Yeah.
And that's
fair.
that's what I say.
Rand
No, I mean
killing him
that I
instead
can
of
get
Matt
on board
works.
with. Stop
Mm.
saying all the other nonsense.
Okay, so the TLDR is we like the first look more than the Tenshiko. We're obsessed with Matt in all his thrills. And Jen is playing a game to wind up Meg with all the things that are getting removed from the TV show.
Yes, and I'm getting her back for our childhood. That's all.
That I was feeling that was what this was. Yes.
Maybe a little bit.
Fair. Sounds like fun.
Maybe a little bit.
Amazing. We have 4 episodes left to go. We're going to talk about
Yes.
episodes 205 and 206.
And we're about what, 6 weeks away
today.
from the release?
We are less than 6 weeks away from release. There are,
Yes.
at time of recording, 40 days until the season arrives.
Well, depending on if it's actually released on March the 13th or March the 14th.
Yeah.
No, not knowing. I saw somebody post something that said like, "Oh my God, if it actually is a Thursday release, which in the United States is technically a Wednesday release, that they're really digging into what Wednesdays." And I was like, "Oh,
Ooh, that's interesting.
I know.
That would be very, very true.
I know.
I did
gotta
go
know.
and try and...
I need to know what day to take off work.
I know.
I am trying to find out. I did go and get like myself put on a list where they're like, we will let you know if it changes its current drop time.
That's
Currently, Prime tends to drop at midnight UK time, which is 4 p.m. the day before Pacific or 7 p.m. Eastern.
And 4 p.m. for me, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
thinking, I did the math on this. I was like, do you know when would be a great time to drop? 9 a.m. Pacific.
No.
Because then it's like midday Eastern, but for me it's 5 p.m. and that's fucking lovely, you know? So...
That would be
Suppose
lovely
it can't
for you.
be all about us. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Currently, it's going to drop on the midnight of the 13th, which would make it dropping on Wednesday the 12th in America at 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. respectively.
Yeah. Even 4
Pacific
p.m.
Eastern.
is like that's tricky. I mean, and David can't wait to watch it with me, and he's very excited. He will not be able to watch it at 4 p.m.
He should take the day off work too.
Yes, he should. Yes, he should. Just take my kids off day off work.
Yeah, it is going to be great, regardless when it drops. It's just, I can't wait. But let's talk about the episodes.
Okay, I have something I want to say that's just like a blanket statement about these episodes.
Okay, great.
Take it away.
I feel like we are so lucky to get this level of high caliber acting that we're getting. Like watching that scene with Moraine and Anver, I think it's in 206, where oh no, it's in 205 when they're first like, I had some advice from my older sister. That one was really good. The other one where Barthanes comes and brings Moraine a sandwich, and then Anver's like, "Bitch, you just pissed off my kid. Like, you made him really sad." Like that was just the acting between them is so good. I
Lindsay
feel like
Duncan.
Maddie really stepped up her game a lot this season too.
Oh God,
like
yeah.
so one, I just feel so lucky that we've had it already. 2, this makes me very excited for season 3 when we're getting Shora and Olivia Williams and all these really incredible people. And I just do feel like we're very lucky.
We are. And honestly,
Mhm.
I can't believe I'm going to say this because I'm literally like signing petitions about keeping work in Los Angeles. And I mean that. I live here. I want work to stay here in the industry. And also, this is not a dig on anyone working here in the industry. I was a working actor in LA. It's a really fucking hard game and it's a really deep pool. But there is something about casting either unknowns or people from Europe or people from Australia, New Zealand. Like there's again, it's just like here you kind of get into the game of it and it becomes like, as an actor, you have to figure out, how do I play CSI Miami? How do I get the work? Like the work here is your procedurals. Like every week there's a new episode of a standard network show like a CSI. And so you're like, okay, how do I get a job on that show? Because that's where the money is. That's where my bread and butter is. but it doesn't give you as much time to be like, how do I play this like weird, crazy character who's got a thing on her neck and doing a thing, and like, you know, like all of the things that we see in high fantasy or in genre television. And so there's something wonderful about being like, we're doing genre television and we can't have as many SAG actors because we have to shoot overseas and blah, blah, blah. And so we have to find these niche actors in different places and we find theater trained people like Donal, and we, you
and
know,
Kate Fleetwood.
yeah. And and it just, it's a different pool that Hollywood isn't always dipping into. And I'm grateful for it, for the show. And I'm also conflicted about it for what it means for where I live and how the industry works here. And also I feel bad that the actors here who have to like, okay, I can play like murderer of the week, but I don't get a chance to actually like deepen my chops by playing something like that because they're casting that all overseas. So, that's all. Just a long-winded convo about it.
I mean, that's fair. Everything in life has ups and downs associated with it. Like, what they say, like every cloud has a silver lining, that is, if you live in LA, you work in LA and you want to do things like genre television, it's a lot harder for you. However, if you live in Europe, it's a lot harder to get picked up as murderer of the week for CSI or something like that.
Exactly.
Like there's ups and downs to everything. It's, what you lose on the swings, you make on the roundabouts. That's, that's often what I hear.
And we've talked about how these actors aren't like, they aren't necessarily in every episode, and it's only 8. So if you're only in 6 or 2, like Raga and Maya, thank you. And so that then
I think they said that or at least Maya said she was in 7 of the 8 episodes this season.
That's awesome. Oh my God, I love that.
So
I love that.
Somewhere.
I love that. But still, it is like that. And then when they don't shoot, for another year and whatever, it's a hard living. It's hard to eke out a living either way. In either
I
case.
remember you telling me that you went to, and for some reason I want to say LeVar Burton's house, but I don't think it was.
No, it was not LeVar Burton. Although I would like now, I want to go to LeVar Burton. No, it was Garrett. Sorry,
Garrett Wang.
It was Garrett Wang. It was Garrett. Yeah.
So went to Garrett's house, and you were just like, "Oh my God!" And he very, low key, not in your face, not arrogant.
No.
He's just like, "Well, this is what 7 years on a Star Trek regular, position will get you."
Exactly.
And, that. Is not there. And if you're in Europe and doing these genre TV shows, and you're getting like job for like a few weeks or a month or a couple months, and then it's like, right, okay, we'll see you in 2 years. Like it's tough stuff. So we are very, very
tough.
lucky.
It is tough. It's a lot harder to make a living with short seasons, and yet I say that, and I know everybody on every fan is like the seasons are too short, and another part of me is like I love short seasons. So it's there's a good and a bad to all of it. But these were amazing. And Megan, I love you're right. That is a great blanket statement. I think in particular in these 2 of season 2, I feel like we really elevated that and really saw that. I mean, Maddie's performances in these are just like bone chilling and incredible and amazing. But Rima.
And Rima too. Like this 2-episode character.
Yeah.
She stole all of our hearts.
She stole our hearts. I love her so much. And I had forgotten, I think, because now when I revisit the show in my head, it's like the books, which is like, now's the Egwene section, now's the Perrin section, now's this. And of course, you don't do that in television, you intercut. But I had forgotten that the scene with Rima was intercut with the scene with Egwene and the pitcher coming down. And so that when Elaine says we can't help her, if we help her, we won't be able to help Egwene, and and she's right. But if she had said that while we weren't watching Egwene being tortured, we'd still be like, yeah, you guys are assholes. Like, go fucking help her. She's right in front of you. But because we were watching Egwene get brutalized and beaten down and her
choked.
Spirit broken, and and choked, and then her spirit completely broken at the same time. And I also think that even though Rima is devastated when Basan can't kill her and she gets captured, we also see the opposite of the spirit being broken in that moment, which gives us hope that Egwene will be able to get back to that point too. It's beautifully crafted, and like to watch it. And also, I don't think we could watch Egwene straight through without like those cutbacks, because it's too hard. It's a beautiful piece of TV. And again, like, I'm just angry about no recognition for Emmys.
And as horrible as it is for me to say, I loved Rima just destroying those soldats. Like she's burning the one or whatever it is, and then she's just
And then
literally
folding
breaking
her up.
every bone in her
Mhm.
body. It
She's
is
making
just like-
origami.
yes, with a person.
Yeah. Suldami.
Suligami.
Sulagami. Yeah, there we go.
Oh my god, I love it.
It was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
It also
satisfying
sounds
at
bad
the
to
same
say. It sounds really bad to say, but I'm also there's a small part of me that was watching that, and I forgot that the girl who plays the scary, not that all the Suldam aren't scary just in concept anyway, but
Right.
Miri?
the one that Miri who looks like she's 12 years old sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a small part of me like, oh yeah, I'm glad she didn't fight and didn't draw the attention of
Yeah.
of Roma because she's
Yeah.
okay. Not
I
that I
know.
want her to be killing anybody
I
or
know.
fighting anybody, but you know.
Well, and Rima understands who the real villains are at this point, and she
By going
doesn't
for the
want
Saldam, not the
to-
Damane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The other thing is that speaking of Miri, I had forgotten in these episodes. Well, it's not that I'd forgotten. I think I hadn't noticed it before until we talked about her last week and her potentially having the talent to be able to see a woman who channels.
Mm-hmm.
When Leandrin steps out of the Waygate,
Oh my god.
it's a vagina. We had that conversation
Tar
before,
Valon
haven't
is
we?
the
When did we have
vagina.
that
the
conversation?
Waygates are the vagina. No, I
Haven't you
haven't
watched a
heard this
Waygate
before.
open? Go back and watch the Waygates
no,
open. They're
I-
vaginas.
No, I get
How
it.
many
I understand the
vaginas have you
concept.
watched open?
Yeah. Sorry.
But
Just-
I'm like, when did we have that conversation that it was just
Nope,
passed?
don't remember
you
this.
know?
I think
I-
All right.
it was.
Did you have
by
that discussion
yourself.
with David?
I did probably have that discussion with David. I'm not going to get any further than that one. But anyway, when Leandrin steps out of the Waygate, and Miri is there, and Miri immediately stares at her in this really creepy, wonderful way. Like, not so. When I saw it the first time, I'm just like, ooh, there's that creepy girl. But now I see it, and I see Miri almost twitches. Like, she wants to point. Like, she's so trained to do it.
Mhm.
And she sees this woman who can channel, who's uncollared and unleashed, and it like dissolves her. It's like everything against everything in her body.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see here. Maybe she'll be our Alvier, Olivia.
I leave it. Yeah,
Oh,
I would love
Olivia?
that. Yeah,
I don't
would
know.
love
Maybe
that.
she'll be
Well,
that
which-
kind of character. And she'll
I mean,
get
Olivia
released,
was
maybe.
old. I mean, like she was what, like 600 years old?
Yeah,
I
she was
think?
super old. I mean, she's
Yeah.
the opposite of that, but
Yeah,
maybe she
yeah.
will fill that
But
role.
I don't
of
think she
a
looked
released
super old
Damane.
though. I think she looked like,
Yeah, Olivia still looked young.
like in her 30s or something. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
because she was captured when she was like 12 years old. So maybe they're gonna go like to the full tilt and being like, okay, she looks like she's 12 years old still, but she's actually like 400 years old.
I know.
Which is
I
just
know.
ridiculous.
Oh, wait, what? Mom says poor Rob.
Poor
I
Rob
think
in the
because
chat.
of-
It's totally fine, Sharon.
The Waygate.
So to talk about that part with Miri though, because I did write this down. Hang on.
About
let me see.
Miri and Leandrin?
Well, no. Okay. So when Rima, Nynaeve, and Elaine were channeling to sort of delve the Adam,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Rima says some of the Damane can sense when a woman is channeling. So we know that the show has already established that typically you can't sense another woman's ability to channel.
Right.
This makes it sound like you can't even sense when another woman is channeling actively.
I think that's okay.
No, I know. I'm just
Okay.
like I'm just
Yeah.
trying to clarify the rules and the metaphysics within the show. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm
Mhm.
trying to wrap my head around it. Is all it is.
Yeah, I think they're making that a talent as well. Like that some
Yeah.
people can like in the same way like Rand's Goosebumps, but I think that that's the idea is they're making it a talent and not I thought about it in the scene where Maureen and Rand hide from Lanfear when Lanfear's chasing them on the horse and they hop off the horses and hide in the bushes. You couldn't do that
Lanfear
in
would
the
have
book.
sensed her in the books.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would have
Yeah.
ridden by and sensed a woman who could channel in the bushes. It just makes it like nobody can hide, nobody can like go anywhere or walk anywhere, nobody can disguise themselves. It just and then of course like in the books we end up having, inverted weaves, mask of mirrors, all the things that we have in the book to have that Jordan had to build and create to be like, fuck, I made this
Yeah.
I made this impossible. So I have to make all these things.
it's the opposite of like Waygates. He invented Waygate, or the opposite of plot armor. Sorry, like he invents Waygates, and then was like, what stops him just dropping 1,000 Trollocs behind? Anyway, it's like, Shadowspawn die if they go through them. You know, like you have to, build yourself a get out of jail free card.
Exactly, and he built a lot of
eliminate
them
now, if you eliminate them now, then you don't have to worry about it later on. So the channeling thing, like not being automatically sensed, kind of works, I think.
Which just so again, getting into spoilers.
Thank you.
Where is this spoiler fascination coming from, Meg?
Well,
I
did
send
I
sent David the link at the beginning, but I don't think he's watching.
Oh, okay, right. David, close your eyes.
When they cleanse the taint later, and everybody's feeling this all over the world, that sounds like that's not going to be a thing with the metaphysics of the show.
Possibly, but if you think about it in the sense that even if you're surrounded, if there's someone nearby who can sense it, or maybe it will just be such a big deal, or maybe it will be, just
or
as
do you think it's
visual
something
or
that
something.
could potentially be learned?
It could potentially be learned,
Maybe.
maybe. But the other thing is, sorry, I'm not trying to bag on Jordan today. I'm really not. I mean, it is my favorite book series, hands down, without question.
Well, look, I've been reading the shit about Sanderson. Okay, he deserves. All right, he deserves it.
But
and I actually, not to completely sidetrack, but I actually got in a conversation with some Sanderson fan the other days. Sanderson fans the other day. Jesus Christ, Rob, form a sentence. And they volunteered of their own volition how gatekeepy the fandom is. How, it's all about like, the big book events and like spending a fortune on all these goodies and stuff like that. And how he's getting really arrogant about things. And it's like, they were saying the things I was like, ooh, I don't have to say these things sometimes. These are Sanderson fans saying this now. I was just like, God damn. Go bag on Jordan now,
Yeah, it's not bagging on Jordan. But we cleanse the taint. And then the entire, what is it, like 3/4 of
Twilight
the next
is all
book.
Everybody's like
Reactions to the taint getting
is being cleansed.
Yeah, and it. I mean, I forget it every time when I get back to that section in the books, and then I'm like, yep, there's a big old thing happening over there. Everybody's looking. It's weird,
Which
and I'm just like,
better in a reread, but like when we waited for 2 years for book 10, it was like,
and I'm like, no time is passing, and we're all just like watching. Anyway, I also don't know that there are. I don't know that there's. At the end of the day, nobody believes him anyway. Like, people don't believe that that's what they did. So if there's this ginormous event and then people are like, nope, I didn't see it, I didn't hear it. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's no real reason why the cleansing of the taint needs to be broadcast to the entire world.
I thought it an interesting.
A few people could, be like, oh my God, this thing is happening. And then everyone else who doesn't, who will understand what they're saying, don't believe them. So it works well like that. Not to stop this nice conversation, but perhaps to talk about the episodes a little more.
Yes.
I noticed a lot in this watch that there was a lot of like nudges towards Egwene's dreaming abilities.
With when Lanfear brings Rand to her dreams, and I think that's maybe actually Tel'aran'rhiod. Yeah.
So that is, that was the very obvious one, but there were a lot of things happening talking. I think just a lot of things being nudged about dreams in general, and some of it being Egwene's future powers with dreaming. But there was, the appearing as someone different in dreams, and is she learning? And Lanfear being like, "Oh, you're getting better at this, I see." And then when Rand is having that nightmare in the village, and she's like, yeah, see, this is what you're going to do. And Matt's missing an eye again and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so here's, some foreshadowing in dreaming happening. That's obviously, like foreshadowing in general for how dreaming can work. And then, Ishii disappears because Lanfear turns up, and I'm like, is this how you move in the world of dreams, or are they foreshadowing stepping in and out of the world of dreams? Because the Chosen like to do that, and I thought there was a lot of very subtle. You're not going to pick it up until you've had it explained, and then see it on a rewatch. Things about dreaming in these 2 episodes that I definitely did not pick up initially.
Here's another one.
Go ahead.
When Lanfear says to Liandrin, "I've visited you in your dreams," or "I've watched your dreams," and so she knows why she gave her, why she Soul of the Shadow.
Mhm.
But I think that there's also just that moment, which also made me excited about season 3 when we see the scene with Leandrin and Lanfear on the
Amerlin Keep.
on the Emerald.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I was just like, oh, she says it straight up to her right there too. Like I've been in your dreams. I'm watching your dreams. She's watching everybody's dreams. If she's watching Leandrin's dreams, you know,
I
obviously
think she
she's a
just
friend of
wants
the dark.
to know.
But
I mean, because she wants to like take Ishi's. You know. Oh, that brings me to something else. At the. Rob.
we're here.
Just
We're here
the
for
way
it.
you just like, oh, it was like
It was
so much
really
excitement.
interesting, and I want to. Okay.
I
It was
believe you. It
when-
was just the way you did it was cute and
It was
hilarious.
adorable.
and
This was
just, yeah.
I hadn't looked at it this way before. So when Leandrin is with Eludrin, and then Lanfear kills Eludrin,
Uh-huh.
then so
Mhm.
after this, Lanfear says you can't take your oaths to the dark back. That's impossible. But there are many paths to walk through the night. So the way she said it made me
Mhm.
like think that she's almost trying to recruit Leandrin almost like on a redemption arc to like, but to help support
Rob's
Rand.
face.
I don't know. Just the way she said it was like really, I don't know. It made me think that. I don't know. It was
I
like
don't
it's-
like how her story, quote, apparently ends. It's
whose story
Agree.
apparently ends.
Lanfear's.
Lanfear's. It's just,
Oh.
you know,
The 10-year spoiler.
the 10-year
Right.
fake out death thing. Like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It cheapens, it cheapens.
Well, of course you think that.
Yeah, well, it cheapens the
it's- no,
story,
it-
but it
I feel
especially
that
cheapens
way.
Perrin's story. Yeah, like,
Well, yes, of course, because it's Perrin. But I agree. I was like,
No, I do agree.
and also
I'm just giving you a
the
hard
whole
time.
idea that I mean, I know that this is true, but like Matt Hatch being like, it was so obvious, and I'm like,
And nobody
only
else
to
in the
someone who's
fandom ever
obsessed
saw
with
it.
Lanfear, I think.
Yeah,
like
like-
I just don't.
there is Matt, I love you, but there is like a strong obsession with Lanfear that at times
Just a little
comes
bit.
across and it
Just a
comes
little
across
bit.
unhealthy. And there are moments where I am concerned for your ability to love anything else at all in this world.
Mhm.
Um,
That's fair. That's
Obviously,
fair.
some joking going on there, folks. Do
I
love
mean, I'm
Lanfear.
equally obsessed with Egwene, and so
I suppose that's true.
Yeah, but Egwene wasn't in photo frames on your fucking
I know.
wall in
I
your
love that
calendar
so much,
shots. You know,
True.
he had
I
3
know.
Lanfear
I
shots in
know.
the background of his. I was like, my God.
So great.
Like, if
It's
we
so
did a
great.
Natasha calendar, he'd be like, so I'm all 12 months, right? You know?
Right.
Yeah,
of
that's
course
true.
he would.
and that's what it should be.
Well, anyway, you bring up a good point, but
Well, because we
Um,
talked about how
mhm,
we missed out on the Ingtar redemption. You know,
mhm.
where, the whole idea where that someone hasn't walked so far in the dark that they can't walk again in the light. And there has been talk about Leandrin, somewhat redeeming herself. So I'm wondering if like this is a clue that I didn't realize before that maybe she will have some sort of redemption arc.
Mm-hmm. Or that you can be
Rob is not on board.
no,
just-
but I mean, yeah. Lanfear goes her own way. There's no question of that. And there
Yeah.
is a lot of conversation. That's not the only time. There are many conversations in these episodes about why she turned. Like
Mhm.
we start with her in the waist with Rand, and she's like, "What do you mean you can't trust me?" And then, but she says,
Oh my
he's
god,
like,
which
"I'd
is
never."
so hilarious.
I know.
What do you mean you can't
I-
trust me? And then
What
he's
do you
like,
mean? What are you talking about?
"Hello, you have me shackled to a wheel."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's
But
like,
then she says
fine.
like something about his friends turning, and or maybe I can't remember if he says they'll
Mhm.
never turn or he says I'll never
Mhm.
turn. But he was like they'll never turn, and she was like that's what I. And she's like it's a
I
great
never
moment
thought I
because
would
her,
either.
yeah, and her mask drops instantly,
Yeah.
and she's herself being like I didn't think
Yeah.
I would either. And so that's also I think a really nice moment about what you're talking about, Meg, which is she was like I didn't think I would either. Now I'm here, but I'm making the best of it by actually
Mhm.
pushing some buttons and doing some things and sowing a little chaos.
All right, I feel like we've opened a Lanfear Pandora box here, but I'm gonna run with it. What if it's not Leandrin who's going to end up with the redemption arc? What if it's Lanfear at the end of the 8 seasons?
So you think she's not
gonna.
You know how she like says to Rand later on, she's like, "Oh, you and I could like destroy the Dark One and then
And
Mhm.
challenge the creator.
challenge the creator." What if they
Right.
don't go quite to that extreme? But she's just like, you know, I can only be free of the Dark One if I actually help you.
If
Like,
he's dead.
what if instead of being like, let's
Mhm.
replace him, she's like, I want to be free, but I have to do that by helping you, but I can't openly help you type thing. And then
Mhm.
he wins, the light wins, and then she's like, hey, I don't have to be evil anymore. You know, like what if this is
Yeah.
the very long con set up for that? Like, I don't know how I
Mhm.
feel about that. Lanthea, like Matt Hatch would just be like, this season was written by me, you know?
But there is, but she, I mean, in a sense, like she does. Okay, despite the fact that we've discovered that she's using compulsion at the end, like she consistently, helps Rand over and over again
Mhm.
throughout the whole series. That is her way of walking
Mhm.
through the night with some level of redemption, I think.
Mhm.
Or is it just selfish?
I mean, it
I
was
don't know.
in the tier attack, right? Weren't there Trollocs fighting Trollocs, and some of those were
Yeah.
hers?
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, she helps Perrin with the spike, and explains how to use the spike. And
You're
anyway, it's interesting. I think, yeah, I think that's fun. And I kind of feel, I think the show is dealing with a lot more gray area,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
so, maybe in that sense there will be a bit of a gray area. And yeah, I mean, who knows where we'll be at, but we have other characters that this is a spoiler I can never say out loud, but we have other
I know.
characters who
I know
also
where you're going.
walk
Yeah.
that path.
Mhm.
I know.
Why is this a spoiler you can't say out
Involving
loud?
tea. Because it is the best spoiler of my life.
Oh, that spoiler, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
a rose. It's Rosebud level to me. It's better than Rosebud. Well, you're right. It's obviously way better than Rosebud, but it's a Rosebud level of spoiler, and I just I hate to say it
I
out
know.
loud
I
because
always
even
feel weird saying it out loud too. Yeah.
and if someone
Mhm.
has forgotten it and they're doing a reread of the books and they like somehow
How
forgot,
could you ever
which
forget that one?
I
don't
mean,
know,
some
could
people
forget
don't
that
always
one.
pick up. Look, I didn't. I watched the TV show like 3 or 4 times. It's not until we chatted last time that I was like, oh shit, yeah, they met when he was trying to get the red wine. You know, like,
Yeah.
And even though in this episode, so like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and this is like we've met.
We've met.
And I still my brain still didn't go like.
Yeah.
You've met over
Yeah.
the red wine. Like, it still didn't make it there.
So let's go back to Maureen and Rand and Maureen and her sister for a second, because first of all, I had forgotten the order of things. Like when I was watching her and her sister have the makeup scene where she says like it was good advice and she figures it
Mhm.
out, I was like, oh yay, they're back together. And then I was like, and then Barthanes shows up and he's like, when Mom said you were here, and I'm like, wait, weren't you already an asshole to him? And then she had to be an asshole to him again. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Oh,
About
but
the sandwich.
my
Mhm.
old theory about Barthanes was that when she sees him, she's afraid to reach out and touch him. And I'm like, she knows he's a dark friend from the beginning. That
No.
was my no, she doesn't, because she literally says, I wrote it down. You'll make
You'll
a
be
wonderful
a great king. Mhm.
You'll make a wonderful king, kind, thoughtful. I'm like, she's still bound by the 3 oaths.
Right.
She can't
Yeah.
say that unless she actually believes that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I felt
Yeah.
really sad for her to find out that he's a dark friend.
But we don't find out. Well, wait, does she find out that he's a dark friend?
No, we don't see her find it out.
Just Mom, isn't it? You know?
Just Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
scenes are pretty good between those two.
Mm-hmm. There's another one too. Oh wait, this was a great piece of foreshadowing at the very beginning of episode 5 with Rand and Moraine when they're walking through the forest, I think, or maybe it's before they even get the horses. She says, if he releases them all, talking about the Forsaken,
Mhm.
if he releases them all, then we have no hope of winning the last battle. And it's
Mhm.
just like a great setup line for the very last scene of the
Mhm.
season when
Yeah,
they're all
when
released.
we know they're all released. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is good.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was just a great
And
great
Rand's
setup line.
face too when she says that,
Mhm.
you know, was like one of despair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of despair, I had my heart broken all over again when Matt found out that Min was basically used.
I know.
He wasn't quite aware, obviously, because she wouldn't share. But like, when he believes that Min has just used it, like he was totally. It's like after months and months, all this time, he's
Mhm.
like, I can trust someone. I can, maybe be myself. And you just see him crumble on the inside and break.
Well, and it,
And
like,
yeah.
and you watch it happen because he's like, it was something like, when did you do it? And then she was quiet, and he was like, from the beginning, before we met, you know? And
Yeah.
so, like, even all of their time in the prison together that he thought that maybe that was real, he found
Yeah.
out it
And then he
wasn't.
says that he was like, I actually thought for real you were my friend. And of course, like
Yeah.
the obvious easy line to write is, I am your friend. And I love that she doesn't say it because she means it,
Yeah.
but she doesn't
Mhm.
say it. It's a heartbreaking scene. It's a heartbreaking
Mhm.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a heartbreaking scene because he's lost all his friends. Then he finds one friend. Then he finds a second friend. Then he's going to be with his second friend. Then he can't be with his second friend. And then he loses his new friend. It's such a whole arc, and he plays it
Yeah.
so beautifully.
It was like he just gotten to the stage where he's like, okay, enough time has passed where she hasn't double crossed me. I can actually trust her. And then the trap swings shut, and he's just
Mhm.
like, yeah. And Kay does a brilliant job. Opposite
Mhm.
Donal.
Yeah.
While he's
Yeah.
crumbling to pieces, saying all the lines.
Mhm.
He's physically just his soul is just collapsing in front of us.
Mhm.
She's there.
Mhm.
So brilliantly playing the part of I have to let him believe all of this because it will actually stop him doing what I need him to stop doing.
Right.
I can't explain why I've done this, and I do deserve what he's saying to me on top of that, and like all of that just on her face without her saying anything, and it's just
Mhm.
Yep.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was
It's
Which
so
makes me
it's
really
great.
excited to see. I mean, because we obviously have seen them in Tanchico together in season 3.
Yeah.
but that doesn't
I'm
mean they're gonna
really
get along, does it?
No, but I'm
It
interested to
doesn't,
see
but
how it
yeah.
plays out, though, is what
Mm.
I'm saying.
Yeah, me too. And I'm also, I like that we're getting more time with them to have more arc to their thing. And I'm also really excited that Kay Alexander actually gets to play with the rest of the cast finally.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, she's like, I'm in a bar for
Kinda
30
been on a-
seconds with everybody.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's kind of
she's
been on
really
an
been on our-
island, like just one-on-one. She doesn't get any
Yeah.
like group anything.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So that's I'm looking forward to that.
I have two more. I have two more tiny little. I have three more things. I have two
Of
little
course.
things and one big. Okay.
Please.
So one of the things I have, I'm going to stay in the Rand Maureen area for a second too. When Maureen brings Rand into her house, and she says to the old guy, the old butler, "Where's my sister?"
Mhm.
And then he says, "Oh, she's blah blah blah, and your nephew has arrived." And Rand
Mhm.
says, "Nephew?" And I never
Right.
really like got that. It's because when she says, "Where's my sister?" he thinks she's talking about another Aes Sedai.
Oh.
Yeah, because she's been setting up forever. Because she sets up that lie at the, back with the White Cloaks of like, my sister is in the next village. I have a sister in the next
Mhm.
village, and
Right.
and Egwene's like, you lied, and she's like, we are all sisters.
Mhm.
So Rand thinks she's like they're going into an Aes Sedai stronghold or something, and then
Mhm.
he's like, nephew, because it's her actual sister.
So it's
I love that. And
actually familial. Yes.
yeah. It's a great
Yeah.
moment, and I love that they just put that one line in there to let us know that why would he think they're going to her house? Why does he doesn't know she has a house in
Right.
Clarion? Like it's great. I love that. That was a silly thing. This was also one that I discovered this time that I love. So Avienda introduces herself to Perrin
Mhm.
when he lets her out of the cage. He
Mhm.
responds with, "I'm Perrin Ibarra,"
And she
she laughs because she's like, "Where's the rest of your fucking name, idiot?"
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
In fact, she later
You
calls him Perrin.
uncivilized.
I know, and she
Perrin
later
of the
calls
Two
him
Rivers.
Perrin of the Two Rivers.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when Dane shows up right before the battle where she kicks all the White Cloaks' asses, she
Mhm.
says, "Perrin Ibarra, do you like to dance?" Like we've heard the line forever. It was in the teaser or the
Right.
trailer or something. But
Yeah.
I was like, because he doesn't tell Dane his name at any point.
Mm.
That's the only time Dane gets his name. And that's
Oh.
why Dane is going to kill his family when he goes to the Two Rivers.
Mm.
Because he knows his name is Perrin Ibarra. He's not going to go to the Two Rivers and be like, "Do y'all know somebody with yellow eyes?" Because he doesn't, like,
Right.
he might, but he also knows his name.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only way he ever would have found out his name.
Mm.
Does he
It's
know
from
his
that
name's
moment.
Perrin?
Why'd you have to make that so sad?
I'm making it sad. Because that's what I do. No, he doesn't even know his name is Perrin.
Because that's
He's
what
like,
you do.
He calls him stranger. He calls him traveler or something. He calls him Two Rivers. You know, he's like, I recognize your Two Rivers coat. But Perrin never gives his name, and Dane doesn't push for it because he's like, I don't know, people don't want to give White Cloaks their names. Like he's like, Dane is so fucking lovable in that scene. I hate it. I hate it. He's such a good guy, and he's like, and he says to what's his name? There's no wolves here. Like he's just amazing.
Oh my god! Do you think there'll be a moment where that realization is had by like Avienda or Perrin
that she outed his name?
That when she's used his name in that fight, that's how Dane learnt. That would be really complicated to set up, but the toe she would have as a result.
I think it's too subtle.
Yeah,
I think it is too subtle. I mean, I suppose truthfully, he could be like, "Who was the blacks?" I mean, he looks like a black. I don't know. I mean, he could potentially get it.
He could just
in some other way.
Yeah,
yeah. But I just think that because later we hear words of like Perrin Aebara of the Two Rivers, like that's what they're looking for. That's who they're looking for, or something. And so I just think that I was like, oh, he wouldn't have known his name without that moment.
Yeah, that's true.
I like that. It was interesting.
Girl got some toe.
She does.
Without realizing it, but still. She got some toe. Damn.
Yep. Okay, so here's the other thing. This is just this is like a super self-serving thing.
So Nynaeve.
Probably no, it's not Nynaeve at all. So it's about the seals.
Okay.
It's about the seals. So since our first look,
okay, hang on. The Forsaken seals or like the seals on the Dark prisons from the book? Okay.
No. I mean the show version of it, which is whatever those are. But the Forsaken seals that we see going back to the very first time we saw it was at the end of season 1 when Rand's standing on it at the Eye of the World, which is in particular is Shamael's seal or something. Then we saw the group of the seals. And so everybody in the fandom in Tavern had a really great, a great version of it. But everybody in the fandom was like, "Oh my God, are the symbols around them? Does that tell us we only have 8 Forsaken? Like, do the symbols represent the 8 Forsaken? They do. They match the statues in different ways." Like, I was deep in that whole conversation because it's fascinating to me. And at the time, I was like, I'm pretty sure the seals are not identical. Every seal is slightly turned, and that the flame of Tar Valon points to a different person at the top of the seal, and that's whose seal is going to break. And I have been obsessed with it, and the shots of more than one seal at a time have been so few and far between, and when we get one good shot, it's always the same damn one, so like you can't tell if they turned. And I finally in the scene, in the Teleran Riyadh scene with Ishi and Lanfear, the other 6 seals are in the room. And he at one point is in front of 3, and at the other point is in front of 3, and they are fucking different. They are. I can't see them all perfectly, but I have pictures, and I haven't dug in as deep as I want to yet. But they have pictures, and not only are they different, they've clearly been kept in different places. One of them was underwater, because it's got like algae and stuff on it. It's really like just disintegrated compared to some of the other ones, which clearly were in the desert. I think he got one from Shanshan because there's one in his room when he wakes up from Teleran Riyadh, and the guy says, "Lord Turok wants to see you." And I was like, oh, did that come with Turok, with his like whole place of like, or I don't know. We don't see any more in the room at the time. So I'm like, was there just one with Shanshan and the rest of them are hanging out in Teleran Riyadh, but he has like the one in that room? Anyway, the last thing is they're different sizes. Mogedian's is tiny. It's smaller, and she's small. She's the small spider. And behind her is one that I think is Samael, and it's bigger but shorter. And then behind that is an even bigger one that's taller that I think is Demon Dread. We're getting Demon Dread, right?
I don't know.
I don't think we know that for sure.
Do we know? Okay. So
she
whoever
just
that
says
is.
The boys.
Right. She says the boys. And then I couldn't see which one was Grendal's, but I think it's the shorter one on the other side.
We do know Samael probably from some of the sides that
from Lord Brand,
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to say that yes, they are all different, because I have the necklace. I don't have it on me right here, but that I was wearing constantly for weeks and weeks and weeks. Do I have it right here? I don't. And the necklace is the first one that we see, and I was like, they have to be different. And now I can see that when they're standing on their pedestals, the flame of Tar Valon is up, the dragon's fang is down. And whatever it's pointing up to, I think, is the one that's going to break.
Right.
It's like whose
that it
seal
belongs
it
to.
is.
It's whose seal it is.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Yeah. Sorry, that's the kind of stupid stuff I get involved.
Such
in.
a
I
nerd.
hope
Excited
now.
about.
Now, what I'm hoping is that when they do the premiere, they fly the seals in, and they're like on the blue carpet or something like that.
Mhm.
Wouldn't that
Right,
be
and then
cool?
if that happens and you're there, will you please take pictures of each one for me,
Of
like
course I
individually,
will.
like and be like, this one's shorter, this one's taller, and this one has us at top.
I'd be like, I need a model.
I need
for
a measuring
size
tape.
Yes, no,
Thank you.
I need someone for like for perspective purposes.
Yes.
You know,
Mhm.
this
Hold up
this
a
this
quarter.
seal was 1 person high. This seal was 1.2 persons high. This
Thank
was
you.
and this person is
Thank
equivalent
you.
to 3 dishwashers. You know.
Exactly. I'm very excited. I'm very,
Ah.
very excited.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. That they've made that detail on the seals. I
Yeah.
honestly, the seal talk is interesting, but it didn't capture me quite like that when it all kicked off. So I was just like, oh, this is very cool, and I was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
go nerd, and I'll listen for the high level outcome conversation.
I will give it to you because I'm deep. I'm deep.
She is. Yeah.
It's the kind of shit that keeps me up at night.
Something that didn't work for me in this episode on a rewatch that kind of felt a bit I don't know if flat's the right word. But almost out of place was the whole is Lan a dark friend, here's a temple to the Forsaken type moment. It didn't work as well on rewatches.
I think it's just because we know as book readers that Lan would. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? But from the perspective of like maybe Alana and Maxim and Ivan, that I mean, they know his background, but it is suspicious. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that they're wrong for what they were thinking and then
Mhm.
like trying to catch him out or something. It just the way it happened in the episode
Yep. Yeah.
didn't work as well as everything else that was working in these episodes.
Do we know if we're missing a scene? Because I felt this particular thread of the storyline, including Lan going to Swan, is the shakiest ground for the entire
The swan
season for
being
me.
out of the tower doing something thing.
Going to
I was just-
Camelin.
going to Camelin and that that felt.
Was she going to Camelin?
I don't know where
Yes.
she was, but she was
No,
out
she
somewhere.
does say somewhere earlier in the episode, it does say that she was visiting Camelin.
Right.
And then Alana's like, why do you want to know where she is?
Yeah.
Right. And she's like, yeah. And
Yeah.
then they're like, well, you just tricked us into telling. She said she was out. I didn't know she said she was.
Yeah, because isn't it like Leandrin goes
returning
looking
from-
in an earlier episode? Leandrin goes looking and
In the novice book?
Liane,
Tyrion?
Liane is like,
Oh,
I'm
no.
here. I'm
Yeah.
the highest authority by
Right.
by the Amazons.
Right.
So we knew she
Yeah.
was out, but like, there's
Yeah.
nothing else given to that, and then suddenly like Lan finds her in the middle of nowhere. You know,
Well,
but
I think
I'm
she was
also
traveling back from Camelin.
with no
Sure.
procession, minimal guards from what it looked like in a tiny little
Production
hut by itself.
value.
Yeah, it was like the
It's
production
budget.
value. Yeah, there's something missing from these scenes. They don't.
There's
flow
something
together.
missing, and I also I am still unclear on. I'm still unclear as to what what his motive was, or what he expected the outcome to be. Like, so Maureen is finally writing back to Swan and telling her what happened. I should have told you before. She throws the letter out 12 times. Then we see at the very end of that scene, we see that she's had a letter from Swan because it's got the
Yeah.
same
Mhm.
seal, and Swan's in her.
Mm.
She's writing in a carriage. Not easy to do. It's like very jolty. But she's writing in the carriage. I love that she's not riding a horse. By the way, I do love that setup that
Yes.
Swan doesn't ride.
Yes.
But then Lan shows up right after the scene with Alana and Maxim and Yvonne, and I'm like, okay, it was. I thought it was a little ham-fisted how it was handled about whether or not, like, because Lan is like, you just brought me to a forsaken place. So from Lan's perspective, he's like, fuck, am I in the middle of a den of dark friends? They're
Right.
like, we think you're a dark friend. Everybody's accusing everybody, and then he's like, it's about Moraine. I need to find Swan because it's about Moraine. And suddenly that's enough to get Alana saying, like, you are, and he says, because we found the Dragon Reborn. Okay, so he fesses that up. But
Yeah.
then what is he? I still don't know. What's he doing with Swan? He's telling Swan Moraine's been stilled. Like,
I think he's just
and
desperate to help Moraine and doesn't know how to help her.
I know, but it's weird. I don't. I
There's
still
there
don't.
is there's something
It's not
missing.
clear. It's
Yeah.
not clear. There's something missing. It's
Whether
it's
a
piece
scene
of
was
storytelling
cut
is missing.
or a scene
Mhm.
wasn't put in there, either way,
Or it
whether
was
one was
rewritten and they forgot that they
Yeah.
took out the thing.
yeah, there's something that doesn't like there are enough dots to connect that you can follow broad
Yeah.
scale what happens, but
Yeah.
not the way that you follow all the other things and
Yep.
flows that are happening in these episodes. Like
Yep. It's a big gimme.
It's-
It's a
yeah.
big buy. You got it. It's a big leap, and I feel like it's not as it's not so much of the show is so beautifully well crafted and everything is set up so well. And budget, they had to cut a scene, something got rewritten, but this is the place where I'm always like
yeah.
yeah.
I
agree,
mean, there's
Rob.
something
I think
there's the whole what Alana and Maxim and that are all up to in like one of the when Lanfear is destroying Kyrian moment, and they run off to the gateway, and that is in episode 7. Like, there's definitely a moment in that doesn't seem to flow, and I do know that there was a scene cut from that that didn't get recorded. So there's every possibility there's something missing from this as well for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So maybe even
Yeah.
the same reason. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. It doesn't work, but it's like everything else is silk, and then this is wool. It's still cloth. It's still a wearable material. It's still it's still gonna keep you covered. It's still doing the job, but it doesn't do it as well.
It's not a big hole. It's not a giant plot hole. It's
No, not
just
at all.
not seamless. Yeah.
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 For me,
Yeah.
and I didn't notice it really until the rewatch. Where I'm like, everything else is like everything's there that you need. It's just moving from point to point. It flows effortlessly, and this one I was like, I had to think more about it to be like,
Yep.
right, okay, so he must have done this to make. I have to explain it to myself in my head more than any other scenes.
Yes. Yes.
Any other story.
Yes. And I don't want to be spoon fed. I like to make leaps, but this one is not. It's like, yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So,
and I just want to say too, we have not talked about if we're just talking about levity and fun and delightfulness. First of all, Mira Sial. I just want the whole show to just be Mira Sial. Like, I just want her. I just like, we can like drop every other character and it's just the Baron show. But the Brown Aja Detective Agency is just so charming and delightful and
I love
just
it. Yes.
very,
Just
very sweet. Yeah.
adorable. Makes me so happy. I
Which is
love
why
it.
it's going to be so awful when we find out
I know.
Naomi
We
is a
don't know.
Black Aja.
We don't know for sure, do we?
When who's the Black Aja?
Naomi.
Which one's Naomi?
She's
Naomi's
the
the
little
other
person.
Brown Aja who's with them. Yasuka.
Yasuka?
So Yasuka is Cho Chang.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
And then Naomi is the little person that's with them in the Brown Aja.
Who takes the bottle? She's like, "Oh, you brought us something."
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
And do we know for sure?
Homebrew.
Why do we know for sure that she's Black Aja? I know that theory's out there, but why?
Well,
do we know
there's
for sure?
so when you look in the trailer, when Leandrin she's in the red outfit and she pulls like the veil off of her face, it kind
Is
of
Naomi
looks like
behind her?
Naomi back behind her.
Really? Okay.
That's
I
I might
knew
have
one
to
of
this
go.
was a
theories,
conversation, but
I might have to. Excuse me while I go back to the stills and try and find this moment now.
It should be. I think I do have it in. If you look at that document that I have,
The I forget we have links in our show notes
so
and things. Like,
yeah. So in the 3-wheeling folder, there's first look
Yep, I'm looking.
images.
Oh shit!
Wait.
No, she is there. She's
not
absolutely
first.
there. She's 100% there. I can see her.
Ah!
Clear as fucking
wait,
day.
really?
Sorry,
Oh my
okay,
God.
wait.
not first
So-
look images. It's
Oh, it's in the
So-
doc, not the slides. I'm in slides.
So
no,
clear
it
as
is in
day.
the slides. It's in the.
Where's my screen share option? Right. Let
Why do we-
me share this. I don't know. Is this gonna pop on screen? Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yours is
Okay.
way better resolution than what I was just. Oh,
look,
that's
look
her.
here. That's her right
That's
there.
100% her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
look, as it
Without
just
question.
see her pulling back, and then I click forward.
That's
That is
definitely
100% her. I'm like, how did I never see that? Ugh.
You're welcome.
Are you the
Wow.
only one in the fandom
Double-
who found it?
Double hair flip.
No, it
Oh,
was on
I mean, I knew
somebody
you told
else's
me.
stream. I don't remember who.
That's great detail. I love
Yeah.
that. That's very impressive.
Mhm. I know. That's why it's going to hurt so bad.
Bless.
She doesn't go to Kyrian though, because she's not in Kyrian when they're all in
This
Kyrian.
is true. She does not. So.
But Yasuka's there, right? Yeah, Yasuka's there.
Yes, Yasuka's there. I actually wrote a note of who was all there that we knew.
Is Joya there?
Joya
Joya's
was there.
Because my theory that's wrong was that was where the Black Aja showdown was going to be.
Oh right, yeah.
Was in Kyrian, but we know.
I still love. So it came up talking about the first look photos. Swan is obviously like looking up and channeling in that first look photo, and I can't remember who I was talking to at the time, but it was probably my reaction stream. We discussed what if the Black Aja are all like storming in from those upper archways within the hall itself. So it's not just the sitters, but if they're like pouring in from the top. And then she looks up and she realizes and like, no, I must,
yes,
just be wild.
And it's Alana who's next to her.
It is Alana who's
scene.
next to her. Yes, that's correct.
So the ones we know showing up were Liana, Suwan, Leandrin, Yasuka, Varen, Joya, and Alana. And then there were other people, obviously, because there were 14 Aes Sedai was what it said.
So, yeah, a couple of tough episodes, but, we got some good moments.
205 is really fun, though.
205 is really fun.
It's fun. Yes. And when I think of 206, I literally just think it's an entire episode about Egwene.
Yes, it's really not.
There's so much else happening. Like, I'm like, it's the Egwene episode, but it does so
really
much more.
hover over everything. And
it does. Yeah. And the moment when, this is one of my favorite moments of the season too. I have to say, like all the Elaine Nynaeve stuff, like just like my heart was bursting the entire season when they're together and like princess, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, oh, now that you're trying to get rid of me, I'm the daughter heir is so funny. But then when there's two moments. One is when also Kiara's delivery of every line is steeped in I grew up as the second in command, as the heir to the throne. Like her, I'm sorry, Rima Sedai, but I don't think you understand the level with which, and she doesn't speed up. She's a great lesson. Like as someone who's supposed to be a leader on her show, like I talk like a fucking like freight train. I'm so fast, but not a freight train. The opposite, a bullet train. She's a freight train, but it's like it's so wonderful, and it so that moment when she says that, I get chills. But then when she says when Nynaeve is like, why are you here? Why are you helping her? And she just says she's my friend. It's that simple. And then she's my only friend, but I've never had one before. And then that cements the two of them. But it also it cements them, but it also stings Nynaeve. Like on rewatch, I'm like, oh, Nynaeve is like, what the fuck? Egwene's going to get friends without me? Like, yeah. and it also separates Nynaeve and Egwene a little bit in this moment. Like they've been separated because she was her wisdom, she spanked her bottom, she blah blah blah. But like, it's just there's so much in that two lines. It's really beautiful.
Well, and I also, like throughout these whole 2 episodes to start, like they're arguing about who's going to take control, who's got the better idea or whatever. And then at the end, when Nynaeve starts to cry out when Raima's being attacked by the Damane, and then Elaine clamps them out, puts her hand over her mouth, which we've talked about is potentially, from her past, And then, if like Gabriel or Tarangale or whomever was beating everybody or whatever. That. And then when they're holding hands at the end, like, it just, it's just really, yeah.
There are a lot of good, as many sort of broken moments as there are between characters. There's a lot of bonding moments, like Moraine and Envers, have bonding moments together. Nynaeve and Elaine have bonding moments. Matt and Rand bump into each other for the first time in God knows how many months at this stage, like probably 9 months or so at this stage. Where they think each other is dead. Like Matt has no idea what's happened to anybody. Rand thinks Matt's probably just disappeared completely. It's really cute the way they are together.
Perrin and Avienda, Perrin and Hopper.
Yeah, it's all the meet cutes. It's so beautiful. Yeah,
so many meet cutes. Just balancing out all the horrific stuff that's happening to some people. It's a big roller coaster of episodes.
It really is, and it's the only way you can take it. You can't take the one without the other. There's that moment when somebody some theory I like heard in the last week or two. I think in the 3 seconds I caught somebody's stream, I feel bad. I've been super out of the loop. But someone said something about Matt getting his luck, like
Mm.
after something or whatever, and like that he hasn't had luck before. But I think in this scene, I think he's winning in this dicing scene. Like when he's there and he's like,
'Cause he says,
okay,
"You
we're
screwed
going
up
for the
my
straight eight. We're
game."
going for the
Yeah.
what?
hmm
He says what?
Because he says this first round is on you because you screwed up my game or
You
my
screwed up my
win or
roll.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and
Mhm.
in the moment when he turns around and he's distracted by Rand, the guys go quick, and all the other guys jump in to steal the money and get
And
their
run
stuff.
off.
So that
Yeah.
and run off.
Mhm.
And so to me, he's been taking their money. He has.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
don't think his luck is non-existing yet. I think he already has his Matt luck. It manifests in different ways, but I think it's already there.
Yeah. Like, I think he maybe he subconsciously used all his luck to look after his sisters,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know, and now
Yeah.
that he's free from, you know,
That
I'm sure
responsibility.
he misses them,
Mhm.
but now he's free from that responsibility, free from the expectations of his friends, free from the expectation of Aes Sedai. He can be himself, and that luck can
Mhm.
just, you know, influence other things instead.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I really,
Mhm.
God, I really want to see what happens with his family storyline in
I
season
know.
3. I really don't know what's going on, but I'm really interested in it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we didn't at the beginning say kudos to directors and writers and such.
Oh, yeah, we
so,
didn't.
Um,
It
bad.
was. Do you have it?
wa-
I have it.
Maya,
I have.
Maya,
I have. You go.
is it Maya
Mhm.
Virillo? How would you say her name? It's Vrvilo.
Yeah, that's how I
Barelo?
was saying it.
Virillo, yeah.
Vervillo. Yeah.
Yeah. And 205 Damane was written by Rohit Kumar, and obviously 206, which Eyes Without Pity, was written by Rami Park. I actually, personal note here, I remember, I'll preface this by saying we're not like exchange messages like friends, besties type thing, but that stage I had recently met her, so I could do this. But I remember sending a message to Rami Park being like, oh my God, that episode was like the most incredible episode I think I've ever seen in my life. And she was like, thank you so much, because I'm like incredibly nervous about people seeing this episode. And I was just like, no, you
Yeah.
fucking smashed it.
Yes.
So,
Yes, she did.
yeah.
Yes, she did.
We have 2 episodes left
Yes.
of both the season 2 to review and of 3 Wheeling before season 3 comes out. Because we will next record. If you'd like to join us, if you would like to hang out with us, folks, so you can come be a patron and join us. We next record on the 15th of February when we do episodes 7 and 8 from season 2. Then we will record on March 1st, where we will be all hyped up about who knows what's happening.
Yeah.
And I expect us to be able to talk about the press junket at that stage. I'm pretty confident it's going to be out by that stage that week, I think is the one I'm aiming for. And then our recording date after that would be the 15th, which is obviously 2 days after season 3 drops. So
We'll have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
we will have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
That's going to be such a busy week for me, because if it drops on the Wednesday night in America, I'll do a live stream on Wednesday night. I will go and work on, or not that Thursday, but in general Thursdays I would go and work like during the day or something. But then like Freefall Talk will do a stream that night. As we
And then
record.
we'll have our recording.
And then we'll have our recording on the Saturday. Thank God I booked off the entire. I booked off from the 8th. I booked off from the 8th when I need to be in London for a birthday pub crawl, right through until I think the 16th, so that I could just do everything.
Great. That's great.
Wheel of Time 24/7.
Wheel of
That's
Time
right.
24/7.
Yes.
That's right.
But yeah, come hang out with us, folks. Be a patron. If you want to follow the social media, you can hit us up on Blue Sky. That's freewheeling.malktalks. No, at freewheeling.malktalks.com. And you can find us on Instagram, which is 3.wheeling, which is where you will also see Meg's beautiful cocktail videos. And Meg,
I am posting them on Blue Sky too.
Are you going to post on Blue Sky? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep them under 60 seconds so I can post them on Blue Sky.
Nice. You've
Yes.
been getting the attention of some cocktail fans, haven't you?
I It's been very exciting.
Yes. She's working the cocktail angle, folks. So
That's right.
I need a
Get-
sponsorship.
give it a little while, and we'll be like, yeah, this podcast is brought to you by
That's right.
High
Princess
Noon.
Violet. By High Noon.
Or Christian, or any of the other several things behind me.
Yes, there are a lot. There's
Yes.
makes bar is beautiful. So, but yeah, folks, come follow us on the socials and just rate and review the podcast. Like us on YouTube if you're watching there. Subscribe to the channels. All those good things. And our individual Blue Sky accounts are linked in the description.
Mhm.
So click there and follow us and hang out and tell us what you liked, didn't like, loved, cried about in these episodes, and what you're excited for season 3.
Mhm.
So, and just think in it's less than 6 weeks. It's 40 days. 40 days. Even less when this episode comes out, because when this episode comes out, it's going to be 36 days to go.
Mhm.
36 days to go. That sounds so small.
I
Do
know.
you know I've been doing that countdown with my Instagram reels and,
Yeah.
and TikToks for 50 days now.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
Was that how long ago we got the teaser?
Yeah, like
Or when we got the
the
announcement?
date. Yeah,
God.
It's the same day. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
yeah. I think we got it when there was like less than 100 days to go, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
next week I'm going to start doing a countdown from 90 days because I did 80 days around the wheel for season 2. So
Yeah.
I gave myself 90 for this one.
Oh
Can't
my
believe
god,
that.
I love it.
But 36 sounds so short.
I know.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
It
wait.
does.
Very
It's going to
excited.
go so fast.
It
Yeah.
is.
Going to go so fast.
All right. We will see you next time, everybody. So enjoy. And
Thanks for joining.
bye.
Bye.
Once again, we've proven that even when you're the third wheel,
You can always find a place to fit in
Join us next time
on Three Wheeling.
on three-wheeling.
on Free Wheeling.